Weakness to warrior mindset. Sucking today. Guess what time it's for? You know what time it's for? Every single day. Time for a walk. Burn them calories. Get my steps in. You know it, you like it. That's why you're watching this video. Topic of the day. I gotta freaking get faster. Because when I make these videos, I start to slow down and then my calorie freaking count starts to drop. So, and that's another thing you're gonna find. You start to walk slow, you're gonna be like, whoa, what's going on here? I'm not keeping my pace. But, topic of the day, how I finally lost that lower belly body fat. Yes, I spoke about this before. Everywhere on your body, the fat will come off first, except right around your belly button and your waistline. The section in between your waistline, your underwear line, and your belly button. Okay? I'm gonna jump right into the freaking thing and not give you any fluff. What I did is when I was in my calorie deficit, I set my calories at 2,243. Okay, I used MyFitnessPal to calculate that. I ate the same freaking foods every single day. I found out my maintenance calories through calculator.net, put in my freaking data, and it gave me my freaking maintenance calories. And then I devised a freaking meal plan to where I was a 350 calorie deficit. Okay? And then, as my step counts got to 10,000 a week, and I started to hit that freaking plateau called the messy middle, where everything starts to, you think it starts to stall. It's just your body's freaking reacting to you losing weight. The only body that knows that you're losing fat is you. Your body does not know. You cannot tell your body that, hey, I'm trying to lose weight. Can you focus on that middle section, right around my section, Don't worry about any place else. Just hit my belly. Doesn't work that way. Your body will take weight off wherever it wants to. You're not in control of that. The only thing that you're in control of is how much of a calorie deficit you are in. And the actions that you take to ensure that you get that belly fat off. So, when I started to hit that section, that part of the phase where everybody seems to want to quit. It's called the quitting phase. Because you're like, it's not my genetics. It's my metabolism. No. What I did is I increased my step count. I went from 10,000 to 12,000 to 15,000. Okay? And then I dropped my calories by 100 freaking calories. So that increased my calorie deficit to 700 a day. So at the end of the week, I was burning about 4,900 calories a week. So 3,500 calories burnt is 1 pound of fat loss. Okay, I was pushing like 1.25, 1.3. Okay, and I stayed consistent that way. I kept hitting the gym, even though I was freaking scrawny as fuck. But that's the process that you're gonna have to go through. You're gonna have to be comfortable getting down to a lower weight. I'm comfortable for now at 152 pounds. Okay, I have 18 pounds of muscle to build. I will not get there by December. I will try like fucking hell. Believe me, I will try. I can only gain so much muscle. Your body is systematically working against you. If you think you're gonna gain freaking 30 pounds of muscle in 6 months, you can't. Your body will not build that amount of muscle, no matter how many calories you eat, no matter how much you train, because your body's not built that. Now, if you take other supplements, you might get there. But doing it naturally, absolutely not. You're only going to be able to build about a half a pound of muscle a week. Max, if you're doing it naturally and you're keeping your protein high and you're getting your steps in. Okay? There is limiting factors. So that's why when you go into a lean bulk, you don't need to be consuming like 3,500 calories. Because all you're going to do is add fat back into your system. That's why it's called a lean bulk, where it's only 275 calories above your maintenance level. Because what that does is it mitigates fat gain. You might get like 0.25 pounds a week of fat gain. But as long as you're doing your steps and keeping them at 10,000 steps per day, after you've lost that lower belly fat, you can mitigate that to almost nil, or maybe 0.15. Okay? There is a specific freaking way to go about this. And that's the way you go about it. The way I did. First thing you need to do is you need to find your maintenance calories. You need to start eating at maintenance calories for 2 weeks. Once you start your journey, in those 2 weeks, you need to start building up your step count. 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. In that 2 weeks, you should be able to get up to 10,000 steps a day. Once you're at 10,000 steps and your body's used to eating at maintenance calories, the first week, you drop it freaking 150 calories. Okay? 150 calories combined with your 10,000 step count should get you close to a good, reasonable body fat, a calorie deficit. The next week, you drop another 150 calories off your frickin' total calories. So now you're in a 300 calorie deficit each and every day. Along with your step count, you're getting close to about 500 calorie deficit. You want that 500 calorie deficit a day. 500 calorie deficit per day for 7 days is 3,500 calories. That's enough to burn 1 pound of fat. Okay, and you keep going and you keep going and you keep going until you hit the point where you're like, this stuff isn't working. And that's the key. When you don't think it's working, that's when you turn the dial. That's when you start ratcheting up your freaking steps and take down your calories by 100. That's it. You do not want to go super, super low because it will be unsustainable. And then you'll start to binge eat. You'll be out of wheat. You'll be out of energy. You'll start to lose muscle mass. That's how you do it. And you repeat this day in and day out until eventually the fat will come off, because there's really nowhere else for it to come off. Okay? Your body will catch back up. In the meantime, in that low calorie deficit and your high steps, you want to schedule freaking refeed days, not cheat meals. Cheat meals give the people the ability just to go to McDonald's. Well, this is my cheat day, so I'm just going to go eat 2 Big Macs. No. You're just destroying all the progress that you've ever made by eating that garbage. What you need to do is you need to increase your frickin' carbohydrates. Go up like 250 calories in carbs for 2 days. What that's going to do is it's going to refeed your glycogen levels. It's going to restart that frickin' fat burning cycle, because your body's like, bam, man, I'm getting all this food. I'm getting all this food. Yeah. And then you drop it back down. And then you continue to keep doing that. Time after time after time. Calorie deficit, refeed. Calorie deficit, refeed. Calorie deficit, refeed. 10, 15,000 steps. Getting your sleep. Drinking your water. Taking your supplements. The good kind, not the other kind. The magnesium glycinates. The turmeric curcumin. Your vitamin D. Your zinc. And you're going to want to keep your cortisol levels low. And that would be achievable by just relaxing. Go find a frickin', a spa. Sit in the goddamn sauna. Red light therapy. Go lounge around the pool for a little bit. But that's how I lost that lower belly fat. By doing these things consistently, staying disciplined, you will achieve this. There's no magic pill. There's no magic formula. This is the formula. And this is how I got it. This is how you will get it too. By doing it, repeating it, and staying consistent. But the first thing you must do, and I'm talking to you, is you need to get up off the couch and you need to start your journey from weakness to warrior mindset.